Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to another Football Manager video. You might notice something a little bit different in the background here. That's right, I've got an eye patch. Welcome to my first look at Football Manager 2024. Couple of things to say before we get going. This, as you can see in the bottom left there, this is an alpha build of the game that Sports Interactive have very kindly offered me to play through. I've been playing it through for a few days now. I've done a couple of seasons. Spoiler alert, it's the best FM ever. But just so you know, there's going to be there might be things you might see that are everything's subject to change, essentially. Not going to go through every change because there's actually lots of little tiny things, just UI changes that you just notice as you're playing. I'm going to take you through three main aspects of the game today. I'm going to talk to you about transfers, because they work slightly differently now. I'm going to show you the set piece creator and how I've played about with it. And we're going to watch a match. So again, thank you so much to Sports Interactive. It still blows my mind that a game that I've been playing for almost 30 years, little old me with me little old YouTube channel, I get to play it early. It will never get old, and thank you so much to Sports Interactive, and thank you so much to you guys that watch videos, because you're the reason I can play this early. So let's get into it. So the first thing you'll notice when you start a new game is you have three different game modes now in the career. You've got the original, so all the transfers which your club has made during the summer essentially are there when you start the game. You've got real world, in which all the players that are due to arrive will arrive on the date. So let's say you sign your team signed a couple of players on deadline day. You won't get those until deadline day. That's my preferred way of playing. And you've got your world if essentially you want to do the transfers yourself. You want the actual transfer budget to spend on whatever. If your club has had a nightmare transfer window, you might want to do that. But that's a really nice start. Personal preference, real world, just makes the most sense for me. So here it is, the main screen. This is my Leicester save, top of the league, by the way. Inverted fullbacks for the win. Obviously, they're quite a good team in the Championship, to be fair. I can't take that much credit. I'm not going to take you through, like I said, every change, because there's lots of little stuff you'll see as you go. And I don't, to be honest, I like exploring that anyway. If I get the new game, I want to explore some stuff. So I'll leave that to you. Obviously, we have set pieces and set piece coaching and everything. I just want to talk to you quickly about the transfer system. So let's say Chowdhury decided to get rid of him. Not doing enough. Get rid of him, cash in on him. The first thing I like to do is ask agent about market interest. So we get a good look, so how keen you are. Let's say we're desperate to sell him. Let's go, we're keen on selling him. I can't see anyone making an offer right now. There is interest though, so watch this space. So it's like, okay, there's some little bit of interest. He is wanted. He has some interest from elsewhere. The club has spoken to, can I bid? Yeah, the transfer window's closed, so then makes more sense. Harder to sell players. Obviously, with the transfer window being closed, it's February. Bad timing, but you get what I mean. But obviously, if there is interest, like genuine interest, you'll see it here, Wolves. So one of the really nice things is that when a player is wanted, it will give you a reason why they're wanted. So this Wolves want them, but they cannot make an offer while the transfer window is closed. Can't afford him right now, or they're looking to sell a player before they want to buy. Like various actual good reasons. So you can see they're interested, but why they might not. So, okay. That's not worked. So the general offer via transfer room is your standard offer to clubs. Essentially, set your bid, bosh, offer to clubs. Nothing different there. So that's my the transfer room is my go-to. But if I still really want to sell a player, I can go to this hire an intermediary to sell said player. So bear in mind that this doesn't guarantee that a player is going to be sold. Sometimes you can go to this screen and there's no intermediaries to hire because they don't think they can sell that player. Let's say you've got a really highly paid player that's not very good, and he's got high wage demands. You might not get a screen here. It might just say, look, we'll have a look for 30 days, but we can't say anything. So this now, but this guy's interested, expected value, how quickly, so if you really want to get a deal done quickly, but this is also how much money they're going to take from the transfer. I'm not sure, haven't done it enough to know if it guarantees a sale, but every time I've done it and had an intermediary be interested, they have sold. Also, on the flip side, I have been offered players by intermediaries from other teams, which is really cool. So, a nice touch, another way to get rid of players. We all know that sometimes can be a pain in the bum. So, I'm very much liking that. So, here we are. Big feature, refresh for this year's FM is the set pieces overhaul. My thoughts are, I'm still playing with it. It takes a little bit of getting used to, just remembering where things are. So forgive me if I miss anything or get anything wrong. It's still weird. So essentially, rather than saying, hey, I've got Harry Suter, who's a big, giant Australian man, and I want to do near post, instead of saying, right, him go near post, because the problem with that, if he's not playing, whoever's his replacement is going to go there, who might not be the best in the air. So the way this is done, if you've seen the blog post, you'll know, is that you suggest your best header to be the aerial threat, and he'll be the one, if you're attacking near post, he'll be the one doing that, and sort of thing. I would say this set-piece system is really nice, and it's massive improvement. It still misses a few things. I would prefer more options for what type of set-piece you do. There is a really cool thing that's probably my favourite feature of this, which I'll show you in a second. So, we've got standard stuff. If you've seen the blog on one of the videos, you'll see it. So rather than taking from the right and taking from the left, you have outswingers and in-swingers. You have your standard list of all your set-piece takers. You can see here aerial threats. It gives you the list. So, and it'll show you what attributes affect. So aerial threats, jumping, strength, and heading, obviously. Also, lovely little touch, bibs. So if they're on the bench, shows them as a little bib. Nice. So box threats, it's going to be anticipation, finishing, and off the ball. Creators is going to be long shots. So this is corner takers essentially. Crossing helps with the corner taking as well as technique. Is how much spin, how much whippage they can get on a ball. Recovery defenders going to be more about pace and marking and tackling. But you can reorder this if you want. Let's say your best aerial threat is actually the guy that you want to be as a recovery defender for some reason. He may be really quick. You can just change him down the list and you can reorder this as to how you want it to prioritize. One of my favorite things is let's make a new routine. Let's go short. You could then say how often you want this thing to do. So I want this to be most of the time, and I want occasionally just whip in a little short one just to confuse them. So that sort of thing, and you can set it up as exactly like that. It's the same for sort of defending. It's just massively improved. It's actually fun to do, and I'm paying so much more because you loaded a routine in previous FMs, and then you just, yeah, that's fine. We score the occasional goal. There was nothing more to it. This, I'm actually genuinely checking and seeing what's going on and making tweaks and improvements. I was trying central, it wasn't quite working, so I'm trying near post. I'm going to try some far post. I'm going to sort of spend a few months of the season doing each one mainly just to see how it does and everything. You can tell people to stay forward. You can even tell people to stay forward on the near side or the far side or central. Really nice for counter-attacking. Love it. Massive improvement. Still some, I think you can still go further with it, but it's a great start. Now, you probably want to see a match, don't you? All right. So this is the tactic I'm going to be using. I've been trying out some of the different because of the changes. So we've got a new role, which is the inverted fullback. So actually, essentially, what this happens here is my really attacking wingback bombs on, provides the width on this right-hand side while Mavadidi cuts in, and then this guy or all three essentially shuffle over to make a 3. It's funny because it's what should have always happened. But it makes such a difference now that it does work really, really well. There's so many roles now that you can see them, like if you're playing a libero popping in. So if I had FaZe here as a libero on support, he would then, when we're attacking, push in to midfield into that DM spot. He would move across to provide a sort of a box midfield, and then the inverted fullback would make a 2 at the back. So and it works really, really well. Obviously, everything's got an asterisk here with the gameplay because I haven't played 10 seasons. I haven't seen any bugs or stuff that maybe doesn't work yet. So that's up in the air, obviously. I can't comment on that. But so far, so good. Right, so here we go. Now, I'm just going to play through this match, and we're just going to talk as you go, but watch the game. It feels so different. We know we've got this, what's it called, motion matching, this new system of animation that's really good. We've got completely different ball physics, and you'll notice it. The more you watch it, the more different stuff you see, and it does look a bit better. You know, this is stretching the engine. This is the last year on this engine, but the lighting has made an improvement. Probably won't get any highlights now. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? But watching the games has been an absolute joy. It feels, the more you watch it, the more different it feels. It feels so natural. Players make runs. Players act like they've got teammates rather than feel acting alone. Not a single highlight game. Not a single highlight. We're going extended, boys. And I played half the season on extended because I'm genuinely enjoying watching the matches. The little deflections, the ball bobbling up, heavier first touches or dribbling. It's so much better. Please, for the love of God, can we have a highlight? Here we go. We've got a highlight. But like I said, when we saw the little clips of the match engine, and I was like, okay, you know, every year they talk about some just changes to the way it looks and feels and everything. But and I was like, okay, fine. But now I've sat there for a couple of seasons just watching much more closely and paying attention. There is a lot of differences. The dribbling feels more. Oh, he's put his arm up. Glatzel. Go on, Glatz. Oh, okay, good save. Trust me, this might not be the best showcase of a match. We've had one highlight in a game. But it feels so different. The ball feels different. The ball acts like a football. It bobbles and it bounces and deflects more and all sorts of stuff. How our set piece is playing off. Unfortunately, Big Suits is not there for the near post. And of course, a 0-0 draw with one highlight. Good. Good. Thanks, game. Did that on purpose, didn't you? Let's try another game. Hopefully we might see some highlights. But like I said, the biggest thing for me is I love the players dribble differently. They sort of lean round corners and stuff. And trust me, I literally played this for sort of 4 days straight, and then I went back to FM23, and it feels so clunky. If I could describe how the match engine changes feel for me personally so far, after almost 2 seasons, is that the players feel like a team that know other players exist. So it's not just the sort of role swap, the player swapping in, you know, moving across when another guy pushes into midfield, all that stuff. But they play better, and they will feels like they roam from position a little bit more when they see an obvious outlet, because you wouldn't just stop and go, well, no, sorry, I'm a full-back defence, so I'm not going near that ball because it's 2 yards away from where it should have been. And so my feelings on this game are of absolute excitement. And trust me, yes, Sports Interactive obviously gave me this version of the game for free. I am a very privileged boy. But they didn't ask for us to say anything positive. They were saying, hey, look, you can make a video to show the fans and stuff. If I thought it was terrible, or if I thought it was another, this is a holdover version until FM25, I would 100% tell you, obviously. But I am absolutely loving it. So we need to end up the video there. We can't, unfortunately, I can't just upload 100. They didn't allow me to upload like 100 videos of my excitement, sadly. But as you can see, we'll finish on this wonderful penalty by Harry Winks. Slots at home. There we go. Right, there we go, my friends. There's a little glimpse into what FM24 has to offer you. I've got big plans for FM24, especially now I've played it for a while, because it's really, really good. If there's no other takeaway, take that. It's really good. Bye-bye.